Ancestral Intelligence. All right, that's our subject for today. I think we're going to do not necessarily a deep dive, but we're going to dive. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, let's see what we're looking like here. All right, family, peace, peace, peace. About time. All right, I finally got on with all the hassles, having to go find the mouse. My mouse died on me, so I couldn't click on anything, so I had to go find one. But anyway, in the meantime, between time, this is your brother, Professor Griff, and of course, this is Arm the Masses, right here on Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to Kalanji. Really appreciate you for the opportunity to make this thing happen, and we are definitely making it happen. All right. Today we have a very interesting subject, and that subject today is going to be ancestral intelligence. Just from the rip, I'd like to shout out Dr. Anthony Browder and Dr. Kaba Kwabene, formerly known as Booker T. Coleman, and all the other scholars that we kind of lean on in order to access this information out of our ancestral memory bank. All right. Really appreciate that, and really appreciate everyone for the support for the platform and for the channel. All right. Hold on, let me just quiet this music down a little. And before I dive too deep, hold on for a second. And before I dive too deep, let me thank everyone that came on the writer's workshop last night. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that showed up. My man, D-Boy, showed up, gave us the track, which is a beautiful thing. Shout out to everyone that came on. All right. Shout out to everyone that had the desire to come on, but wasn't in the right place at the right time to come on. All right. Really appreciate everyone. Thank y'all very much. I'm looking kind of orangey-ish. I'm not sure what's happening with the color. Let me change cameras. Hold on. Everything is jacked up today. Let me see. Let me go to the settings. Hold on. Let me go to my camera. I might want to switch cameras. I think this camera is a lot better. It's clearer, because I was looking kind of orangey for a minute. Let me make sure my audio's in place. Yep, audio's in place. Everything is working. All right. One second. All right. I think I might be in business. Hold on. Not yet. All right. Let's go to the live. Let's make it happen. That looks a lot better than that orange look I just had a few minutes ago. All right. I apologize for the delay. Once again, greetings, family. Of course, y'all know this is Professor Griff, and this is On the Masses, right here on Black Power Media Reloaded, brought to you by Serious Minds, RNTV. All right, Gerald, what's happening, man? I sent you some information yesterday, Gerald. Riri, what's going on? Riri, I had a songwriting class yesterday. I didn't see you. All right. Okay. All right. My next class is going to be Music Business 101. We're going to go over some basic music business information. We're going to get it out to everyone. All right. Just so we're keeping up on what's going on in the music business for those of us that are still trying to be in the music business and you want a career in the music business. We had a songwriting class yesterday. I think next Sunday we're doing the business class, and we'll see what happens. All right. Anyway, in the meantime, in between time, today's subject is ancestral intelligence. Let me lower the music. I don't want that to be a distraction. All right. Shout out to everyone that's coming on today at high noon. All right. Trying to get grounded and get centered at the same time. I want to talk to everyone about this particular subject. Let's dive in real quick without any further delay. So when I was studying, and this concept kept coming up, and then I ran across Anthony Browder. I shouldn't say ran across. I think every other week I'm reading something or watching something from Anthony Browder, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Ben Yakinen, Booker T. Coleman, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Amos Wilson. I mean, I could go Shashi McIntyre. I could Professor Small. I could go on and on. They're in constant rotation in my ear, all right, in my spirit, in my head. So, but when I started talking to myself about there has to be a deeper meaning to this AI thing, this artificial intelligence. So then I ran across something and someone kind of wrote it different and it said ancestral. So I started looking at the ancestral intelligence and what that actually means. And then as I'm listening to the diaspora wars, if you want to call it that, and I'm hearing what the FBA is saying, and I'm hearing what brothers and sisters are saying from the continent and the Caribbean brothers, I'm like, there has to be a deeper meaning to what's going on. All of us that know, we know what's going on with who is creating the rift between the our brothers and sisters in the Black African diaspora. All right, so we know what's happening. We know what's at the cause of it. But the question is why? Why are they doing what they're doing? We have an intelligence that goes way beyond the definition of how this Western world defines what intelligence is. I've heard some people say to me, so-and-so is very intelligent, and then I look at their actions and I say, no, that's not intelligence. All right? Just because we can memorize a few facts from a couple of thousand years ago, that doesn't make you or it intelligent. All right? When someone says someone is a genius, then the root word to genius is gene. What is it about genius that we're kind of overlooking and we're not actually getting the point? So I wanted to dive into this subject, a few things that I kind of noted and put together and did some research about, just kind of notes I put together. I wanted to share my notes with you. I'm not saying my notes is the end all to be all. I'm just saying to you, Professor Griff's is Professor Griff's notes, and I'm just sharing. Some say I'm pouring into you. Some say I'm gifting you. So, whatever terminology you want to use. Some say I'm teaching it to you. Some saying, okay, I'm having a conversation with you, which is a beautiful. I like to frame it that way. Let's just have a conversation. Let's not get huffy and puffy with your chest stuck out about it. I know more than you. I'm sitting in the center of this whole. I'm not. We, as an ancient people, are sitting at the center of this. A lot of people can't take that position, ancient. We can, because if you define what ancient is, and then you look at every other people on the planet, they have to fit that definition of what ancient actually is. Now, I know some people that are out there lying in wait to take my conversation and do your whole show centered around a Professor Griff conversation. I don't mind if you do that, but we're only talking about maybe 45 to 50 minutes of doing not even a deep dive, but a dive into this particular subject. If you want the long form version, contact me, 678-557-2919. If you would like yesterday's class on songwriting class, just hit me up, 678-557-2919, and you can pay for the replay. All right? Okay. Everyone that was on the class, I'm going to send you the replay for free. Everyone that support the platform, of course, you get it for free. All right? Support any platform that's teaching us the truth and raising our vibratory pitch one iota into the thinking of the creator, of God, of Yah, Jah, whatever, Allah, whatever you call your creator. All right. Even if it's raising the pitch and the bar of your intellect. All right. By all means. All right. So now we start talking about the electromagnetic field that surrounds the earth. All right. All right. Let me not get that deep. Yeah. Okay. We could go into the Akashic records. We can go into the Akasha. We can go into the auric field that surrounds the body and how it's in sync and how we're connected to that divine source. We could talk about that, but I want to keep it a little bit more on this plane where everyone can kind of walk. Maybe you have to walk up a flight of stairs to get in the elevator. All right, and I want, when the elevator goes up, I want you, when it meets you on the floor that you're on, I want you to walk on the elevator with ease. All right. Okay. Ancestral intelligence. Ancestral intelligence refers to the vast knowledge, insights, and lived experiences passed down through generations. Now, as I'm reading this, Professor Griff notes on ancestral intelligence, I want you to do me a favor, please, without you getting extremely emotional. All right. Reflect on all the cursing and arguing and name calling and all that stuff that you do on TikTok late at night and early in the morning, going at Africans and Africans going at black people, and both of y'all going at the Caribbean brothers and not understanding the game and the trick that's being played on you. So now let's focus now on the idea of us being an ancient people. Let's focus on, and I want to emphasize this, because y'all are claiming, you're claiming turf and I was born here and Ancestry.com told me this and all this other kind of stuff that's child's play. You could go into the, not only the genealogy, but the cellular structure of black people, and you'll find eons and eons of time. All right. You find gods and goddesses yet unknown. You understand what I'm saying? That are not in books, that are not in the lexicon, unless you go and take a deeper dive into the self. All right. So ancestral intelligence refers to that vast knowledge, insights, and lived experience. How long, first question, how long have you lived? I could say my 65 rotations around the sun, I am 65 years old, but that's my physical birth on the planet. How long have I actually lived? Real quick, tearing a page out of Foucault's book, Dr. Foucault. If I'm a seed within a seed, within the seed, and that seed is in the seed, all right, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my granddad, and then my great grandma and great granddad. And a lot of us can't even go beyond that. And once we do, we start talking about people where we kind of had this disconnect from what the actual culture is. All right. So we may not have done the same things that we're doing today, but inside of us, those things are interwoven into who we are. We just have to discover and then yet rediscover those things. Follow me now. So that seed within a greater seed, and that seed sits in the universe. All right. And then our universe sits in the greater universe. So we are seed within a seed within a seed within the seed, within that seed, then that seed. So we are divinely connected. Some teachers come along and say we are direct descendants from the creator, from him and herself, which is a beautiful thing. And that kind of spells it out. So then when you start talking about, I did ancestral.com and I'm from Arizona, I'm from Tennessee, and stop. That is child's play. All right. Tuck that away. Next point is this idea of Pangaea, the earth being one landmass. Yeah, there were people on this part of that one landmass. It wasn't called America. I'm going to say that again in English. Get this point, family. Get this point. The earth was one landmass. The tectonic plates, as it broke up and moved apart. You say teutonic plates, some say tectonic plates, they're the plates. Let's not get caught up in the bastard language called English. All right? It broke up, moved apart, and if you put them back together, it almost fits like a glove. All right? Where there's some people on this part when the tectonic plates broke up and moved apart. Yeah, okay, got you. All right? That rich, fertile land that we were from, and it wasn't a lot of people. We're not talking about millions and millions of people. We're not talking about a lot of people. That rich, fertile land with all the precious diamonds and minerals and all the other minerals I can mention, too numerous to mention right now. That's where we were. That was our throne. We ruled the planet from our throne. That's where we were when it broke apart. Did some of us end up here? Yeah. Beautiful thing. We're still the same people. We developed different cultures because we had to survive. The stuff that's grown in Africa is not necessarily grown here. So we had to survive and we developed different cultures. But, and the place wasn't called Africa yet. This place wasn't called America yet. Please get this point. All right? Now, with those two things, now let's kind of press the pause button and dive back into Professor Griff's notes. Ancestral intelligence refers to the vast knowledge, insights, and lived experience passed down through generations, offering a framework for navigating life and solving problems. The reason why, FBA, you cannot solve these problems and have an intelligent conversation when presenting your point is because you have to offer the framework and then go back deep enough. And if you went back deep enough, way past ancestral.com, you will know that, yeah, we are the same people, just with different customs. Different customs. I was in a chat room last night, and all I said was, you mean to tell me they bring a German Shepherd from Germany and they end up in Tennessee? It's still not a German Shepherd. It's still a German Shepherd. So years go by, and that German Shepherd have little German Shepherd pups. It's still a German Shepherd. 30 years go by. The pups had now grown had pups. It's still a German Shepherd. A French poodle, regardless of where you take a French poodle, is still a French poodle. It's still a French poodle. All right, so let's understand this small little dynamic. So now, if we're talking about black people on Pangaea, tectonic plates broke the earth apart. Some of us ended up on this side. Our country cousins and brothers and sisters stayed on that side. All right. And then we started circumnavigating the globe. We started going out, exchanging culture. All right. Meeting those long lost brothers and sisters. Some ended up there, some ended up. We have our footprint on every part of the planet. All right. Then some people that look very strange. When we first saw them, we said, what happened to them? Why did God do that to them? They don't have skin because they just look pale and ghostly like. All right. Then they started capturing us and moving us and transporting us all over the globe. Now, here we are having to meet our brothers and sisters under different circumstances in every part of the globe. This is the most simple way I can break it down, FBA. All right? You keep talking about, I don't have nothing in Africa. Talk about not African. I was born here. Yeah, but we're talking on a cellular structure level, rather, pardon me. All right? We're talking about who you really are. Because I swear, if any of y'all stepped into any of them African countries, except for the ones probably far east and further north, That's not who and what you are as a people. You understand what I'm saying? That's like saying if you look in your closet right now, you as old as some of the furniture in your house, some of the clothes that you get. No, no, you're a lot deeper than this. So when you start talking about key concepts, wisdom of the ages, all right, ancestral intelligence encompasses the accumulated, pardon me, knowledge and experiences of past generations, offering lessons on survival, community building, and navigating life's challenges. All right, your wisdom of the ages of who you are, your father, who you didn't even know that individual's name. So let's not keep bickering about I'm American, I'm African, I'm from the Caribbean. We all look alike for the most part. All right. So when you start talking about who we are on a cellular level, it's a whole lot deeper than I'm from the West Coast, or I'm from this country, or I'm from that. Way deeper than that. Let's talk about culture. We talk about culture, cultural preservation. And I don't want anyone to kind of want to clap back at me and all this kind of stuff. I'm just having a conversation. All right. So listen. So if we're talking about cultural preservation, in hindsight, in highlights, pardon me, it highlights the importance of preserving and understanding cultural heritage, including language, tradition, and social structure. Well, I got cursed out this morning. All I asked was if you were here in America, and I asked it 5 times on my platform here. If you were here in America prior to Africans coming over or us being brought over, or however you want to frame that, all right, what was your language? All I asked. Because your language will then, you can go into your language and you can start describing who you are. Hold on. Who you are. Said the sound is muffled. Hold on. Hold on. I'll muffle this down. Now, you go to my, hold on. You go to my audio, 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 shoot, audio. Nope. Sound shouldn't be muffled. Yeah, let's see if they're playing with it. Nope. Before I'm here. All right. Sounds good. Somebody said it sounds good over here. Not sure. Turn the speaker up. Let me turn the speaker up. All right. All right. So listen. So language, tradition, and social structure. What is your language? You, all right. I turned it up. All right. That's cool. I think we should be on point now. All right. All right. So we're talking about language. What language is foundation? Black American. We're not talking about the $5 Indian. Shout out to Jane Calloway. Shout out to Reverend Phil Valentine. Josh McIntyre and some other people. All right. So shout out to DJ. Chill out. Peace. Yeah, I'm good, man. Surviving. Still here. See, still there. We good. We good. Yeah. All right. So then if we're talking about language and tradition, what was your tradition? All right. Someone foolishly said we spoke Latin. That gave me a headache. And at 1, 2 in the morning, I started reaching for the religion. That, yeah, no. Stop. Child support. That's second grade stuff. Latin? No. No, no. It's still kind of muffled. Hold on. Family, hold on. Let me take this down. Hold on, fam. Hold on. Hold on. MC, people call me Milk. Can y'all hear me now? How is the sound now? Give me a thumbs up on the sound. I'm sure y'all can hear me over here, but can y'all hear me here? All right. Yep. Yes. No. Maybe. I'll wait for my response. Anyway, let me move forward. So, language, tradition, and social structure. What was your social structure? What was your language prior to America, before America was America? You claim you were here. What was your social structure? What was your tradition? What was your language? And then, if you can answer that question, tell me, why don't you speak that language today? Where is that social structure today? Where are those traditions today? I heard someone ready to fight, man, with their fist ball at the top of their lungs, with their chest. I didn't come over here on no goddamn slave ship. Blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay, that's just not your journey. So, yeah, okay. It was ours. All right. You probably flew over here on United or Eastern Airlines or Delta or whatever. That's fine. And even if you didn't, even if you were born here, all right, we have the same thing running through our veins. Yeah. Because I swear, if you got a good look at my baby pictures of me at about 7, 8 years old, you would swear I was from Ethiopia, Eritrea, one of them. And if you look at my dad, he looked like any Blackfoot Native American tribe, the dark skinned black, triple jet black. This is the color my dad's complexion right here, with straight hair. So yeah, you could look at us and some of the members in my family like we look like some of every damn body. No, some of everybody look like us. All right, let me finish this. All right, beyond technology, while AI focuses on um, uh, this power of how you can compute things, all right, and come up with an answer, AI still needs to be trained. What are those models that they're using to train AI? They're using the ancestral intelligence, emphasizing human connection, intuition, and the ability to learn from the past. When we say learn from the past, do you know your past? We're not going to use fancy words. Just do you know your past? Way beyond your mom being a country girl and your family coming from North Carolina or Texas or Arizona. What is your past? What is your past? Give me the language and the customs and the traditions way beyond the place being called North Carolina. Figure that out for yourself and then let's talk. All right? Because when you start finding these things out, then we would have to take it out of this country. And if we do leave it in this country, it's going to take us back to Pangaea when the earth was one. All right? And then it'll prove to you that we are one people. All right? The ability to learn from the past. Do you have the ability to learn from the past? And then can you operate from a basis of truth and get past your ego? I don't know what the Caribbean brothers and sisters and the Africans have done to a lot of the black, other than the petty stuff that's going back and forth. I'm talking way deeper than that. Some argue that the ancestral intelligence can complement modern AI, offering ethical frameworks and cultural context for technological advancement. Yeah, it can. Who is training AI? And what are they using to train AI? Johnny Combs, please, what's good with you, man? Yeah, Johnny Combs, your people was on there last night. I heard them. Example, storytelling. Stories can offer a moral lesson, historical account, and cultural values, serving as a form of knowledge and transfer knowledge. Let's tell the story. Tell me the story of who we were as a people prior to the transatlantic slave trade, prior to America being called America. Give me some of those stories, family. I'm gonna open up the phone line in a minute. Systems of government. What system of government was in place? All right. You say there was 6, 7 presidents before George Washington. Who were they, and what system was in place that they governed? And then prior to them, what kind of government was in place here? All right. Navigating complex systems, skills developed from traditional practices like well, I could go into some of the things that they mentioned, but it's probably not applicable right here in this conversation that we have. Contrast with modern AI, of course, they're pulling from the ancestral intelligence. They're pulling from ancestral intelligence. What is the ancestral intelligence? You have to have the ability to tap into the Akashic record in order to pull down any necessary information for you to take your genetic coding past and beyond. I'd say 5, 6 generations. How far can you go back? How far can you go back? How far can you go back? All right. In essence, ancestral intelligence can inform ethical frameworks for developing and deploying AI, ensuring respect for diverse perspectives and cultural values. In essence, ancestral intelligence is a call to recognize and integrate the wisdom of the past into our present future, of ensuring that technology advances that are coming out of us, not in us, out of us, all right, because these things are in us, all right, they need to be guided by ethical consideration and deep understanding of the human experience. What is your human experience? What is your human experience? Let me open up phone line. Take deep breaths. I'd rather the conversation in short bites as opposed to you trying to swallow the whole sandwich. All right. Take deep breath, get a drink of water, breathe, and let's have a civil conversation based on the information presented. My Wi-Fi is crazy too. While I'm waiting for everyone to come in, all right, all right, all right. Thanks for the 2 minute break. Really appreciate that. Hold on. Save this. All right. Let me sing. Let me put up. Let me put this up. Shalom. All right. let me say my nation does have some legitimate complaints when it comes to region, but it wasn't a major problem until it became a manufacturing problem. Okay, that must be someone in the chat. South Fork Panther, when I hear Negroes ranting like Bill and Root that I'm not African enough, I know they gone full bog and been assimilated into colonial nature. Right? Both computer off and self. All right, Otep, Dominique was good. So since today we're raising the bar, we're talking about ancestral intelligence, and this is going way beyond the bickering, cursing, and all that kind of stuff. Then let's talk. You understand what I'm saying? William McKenzie. William McKenzie. What's happening? Got a William McKenzie on deck. You ever notice when you watch them cop shows and they go to look for a file, it's always a McKenzie file? Yeah, always a McKenzie file. I don't know why. It's be a popular name. All right, way beyond where we're from, where our mama and daddy from. Because I could get on here and rant and rave about Barnesville and Beckley, West Virginia. You can't tell me that's where my mama from. And I could rant, rave, and we can be at each other's throat. Take it back 6 to 10 generations, then let's talk. Malcolm said it. You just as African as any African. All right. What I was saying, our people are continuing to let others control them. Okay. Tila, Nubia, we way beyond that conversation. Let's raise the vibrational pitch of the conversation. All right. I'm not saying we need to be top heavy or intellectual or let's raise the vibratory pitch of the conversation. Let's stop talking about that person. They hit me first, or they got more than me, or blah blah blah. Yeah. Raise the vibratory pitch of the conversation and let's talk. Come on, talk to me. Beyond, way beyond the place being called Africa, prior to that, and prior to this place being called America. Who were we? Where were we? Come on, talk to me. I know Instagram was freezing. I had to, yeah, I don't know what happened because this was freezing over here. So yeah, they doing a number on me today. They hit me on both sides. I don't know what it is, but yeah, right now I'm pulling up my Instagram and all I'm seeing is Lord Finesse. Shout out to Lord Finesse. Okay, I'm figuring it out. Says I'm live again on IG. All right, everyone's mighty quiet out there. Talk to me. We didn't raise the bar that much. The bar, we didn't raise the bar that much. Man. See, once we start having a conversation way beyond the false talking points that our open enemy put on Africans and put on us, Once we get past that, and we're able to have a civil conversation, all the bickering and arguing stops. Now you have to be studious, and you have to go to what our ancestors, our elders, and our ancestors gave us, because they already figured it out. Even to pass down a concept called ancestral intelligence. It's a certain kind of intelligence. Okay? No, I'm still over here on IG. I had to reboot my phone. Like I had to reboot the computer. I don't know. They shut the computer down. So they just went dead mid conversation. Fatima Murphy Gibson. Peace. What's good with you? Okay. Ross Justice. Peace. What's good with you? All right. So I'm seeing Nubia on here. I'm seeing Blue on here. A Justice on here. I'm seeing Collins on here. I'm seeing a Savvy on here. I'm seeing a whole bunch of names. I'm seeing a Moore, which is probably coming from the Moors, and we carry the name over because that's one aspect of who we are, not the totality. But you mean to say everyone that I mentioned just that we're not related? I'm related to you. Now you might not want to be related to me. If we go back far enough, I ran into some people in my travels throughout the world and looked at them like, wow, you look like my auntie. You understand what I'm saying? And they were from a whole different country. Well, true, partly true. See, look, Taylor, was it Taylor? Nubia, partly true. Some of us was here already on this side, Miss Nubia or Mr. Nubia. I think you might be. I'm not sure if you're a male or female. Can you let me know that so I can address you properly? We were here and there and there and there. Okay, so we don't need to have that argument. We were brought over here. Yeah, millions of us were brought over here, but millions of us were here. I'm not sure if it goes into the millions, but we were here in this place that's called America, and we were there, and we were over there, and we were over here. So we don't need to have that argument. Okay, Dominique, let's address that. We're from one black family in Africa. Can we honestly say when they went back to do the research to discover the origin of man, the origin of woman, the origin of people, period, and they found that in one black African woman who predated the place being called Africa? Can you can we agree that we're all from that one source? Okay, you're a woman, not necessarily a female, but okay. I got you. Got you. Taylor, Taylor Nubia, got it. And you're a woman, got it. Dr. Sin Q, what's good? Okay. All right, we're not really getting too much traction. I'm not going to be on here long then. Hopefully everyone has gotten my point so we can stop the bickering and arguing and all of us just press the pause button and do a deeper dive into who we are as a people. And everyone has their own history. You understand what I'm saying? But those that were already here have a totally different experience than what we have. All right. Africa is still our throne. I'm telling you, the precious minerals that run the planet are there in Africa. All right. Yes, Jay William, I would agree. We are all one people. But a lot of times people don't go far enough back even to understand that we're one people. All right. And I'm not saying our brothers and sisters on the continent don't need to be taught this, and they do need to be taught this because they've been colonized. We've been colonized here. We went under a certain degree of enslavement here, and they went under an enslavement there and being colonized there. All right. Okay. Listen, I'm not hanging around on here to have someone come on to debate and that kind of thing. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not that individual. There's a few notes that I wrote dealing with ancestral intelligence, gave it to you so that we can go back far enough to see who we are as a people and how we need to unite. And the commonality, as far as the culture is concerned, the common thread, I call it. Matter of fact, I wrote a song called Common Thread. Agreed, and according to Dr. Francis Wilson, the overwhelming majority of the population of the planet Earth are non-white. So we are not the ones who have to say where we're from. This or that. No, I'm not sure what the last part of that meant, but yeah. Yeah, there is a universal frequency. And once we tap into that universal frequency, argument is over. Argument is over. That there's all the solution we need to set this thing right. And we can set it right if people would do a little bit of reading, a little bit of deep dive as far as the studying is concerned, go back into what our elders and now ancestors have given us, and we could solve this issue. And we don't, I don't know. So, family, do me a favor, please know and understand who owns. Let me say this before I get off. I got a couple of minutes. Who owns ancestral.com? And please, when you look that up, please let me know that it's not run and ran by the CIA. Can y'all do that for me? I don't know. Let's just type it in. Where's my key? Hold on. Let me get my keyboard. Who owns and runs Ancestral? Ancestral.com is owned by the global private equity firm Blackstone Group. Look up Blackstone. I know who Blackstone is. Who acquired it in 2020 for $4.7 billion. They've collected all of this DNA, which I'm not going to go into what they're doing with it. That's a whole nother conversation. While Blackstone owns the company, Ancestral.com has its own management team that runs the day-to-day operation. As of February 2025, the president and CEO is Howard Hochscher. Hochscher? I don't know from that name. He succeeded Debbie Liu, who had been the CEO since March 2021. All right. What do you think they did with all of that DNA that you were swabbing and sending in? All right. All of those samples. What do you think they did? They sold the company for $4.7 billion because now they own your DNA sample, and they're able to take that and do a deeper study to come up with biological weapons, ethnic weapons, all right, to fight on a different level, all right, warfare on a different level. Trust me, fam, this is what they're doing. But while you're arguing about who's African and who's not, and you call me an African booty scratch and you call me that and whatever, whatever, these people are acquiring these companies that have taken your DNA over the last 10, 15 years, and they're selling the company for $4.7 billion. Wow. Okay, so then look up who is the Blackstone Group. It's a simple, basic research that y'all can learn how to do. It's not, oh, I just connect the dots. Who's the Blackstone? Blackstone Group Inc. is a global investment firm and one of the world's largest alternative asset managers. Your DNA is now an asset. Okay? Founded in 1985, it's known for its private equity and real estate credit and infrastructure investment, as well as financial advisory um, services. The company manages trillions of dollars in assets and is headquartered in New York City. Blackstone Inc. Okay? Blackstone Group. Blackstone Group was co-founded by Stephen A. Schwartzman and Peter T. Peterson in 1985. Schwartzman is currently the chairman and CEO. We're talking real estate, credit, hedge funds. We're talking private equity. Yeah. Why would they need your DNA? Why would they need your DNA? Why would they shell out $4.7 billion? Have you ever heard of the ethnic weapon program for chemical and biological warfare? So let me just say this, and I'm going to get off of here because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But then again, I do. So, if we're talking about ethnic weapons, chemical and biological warfare, they can set off the bomb. All right? Odorless gas that goes out in a room full of different kinds of people. And it will only affect melanated, carbon, black, African, Nubian, Black American, FBA people. Whatever title you want to go by. But they go into the makeup of your DNA and your cellular structure in order to put these weapons together to affect you on a biological level. Now, when they come, and they're coming, what are you going to do to fight against that? So the FBA could be standing next to a brother from Jamaica, next to a brother from Ghana, next to a brother from Belize, next to another brother from New York. And you all get affected the same way. Now tell me what your difference is. They already know that you're the same people and you have a common ancestral kind of intelligence, a common ancestral gene, a common ancestral DNA. It's just that you don't know it. Okay, fam, we just did some basic research. You can go a lot deeper than that. Of course, we can. We don't have time, but we can. So my subject today was ancestral intelligence. Well, that's one of the areas, Michelle. When we go into biological and chemical warfare, we can go into what we do. But let me ask you something. The little short dude, I think his name was Fauci. All right, can y'all do me a favor before I get up here? Tell me who was one. What program did he lead? And tell me, is that not the same dude that led the other program? And I'll give y'all a hint. AIDS, Africans in Deep Shit program. Same dude. We start talking about chemical and biological warfare. Yeah, same person. I'll wait for your answer. Same person. Same person. Dr. Fauci, same individual who was responsible and led both situations. The one recently and the one, I believe, in the 80s. Way beyond the advertisement needs to know. We're way beyond that, bro. We're way beyond advertising. Nope, let's go see. Let's stop hanging out on branch knowledge. Like squirrels, let's go back down the damn tree and go to the root. Now that you done shook everything off the branches and it hit the ground, let's go back down and gather it together. Now let's go to the root for a water source. All right, water symbolizing wisdom. Come on, family. I have to get off of here in 8 minutes. I can't go past 1:15. I'm trying to pull up your energy. I wanted to raise the vibratory pitch of the conversation today because I'm tired of hearing the bickering and arguing over this. Wow. You know, my grandmama used to make cornbread, and the way she made it, man, that's a Black American FBA recipe. Maybe a certain kind of corn grows here that don't grow in Africa. Maybe they're calling it something else. But food, cornbread, that's what you argue. Ah, an essential. Essential. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone is actually doing the research. Someone is. Thank you very much. Just a little bit of studying. That's it. All we have to do, family. And when we go to these talks on TikTok late at night, bring factual information to the table. Get out of your emotion. All right? Bring factual information to the table. That's all I'm asking. You're not going to deny Pangaea. I put up a map of Pangaea and they blocked me. One dude told me to shut the F up. They blocked me. I'm caping for Africans. I was called every name under the sun. Taylor Nubia, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. But you know how many Henrietta Lacks there was prior to her? On how many times they experimented on black women? Get the mitochondriac DNA. Then all of a sudden, poof, Ancestral.com comes along, gets all of your DNA, and all of a sudden now they have an ethnic weapons program. Come on, family. Come on. We can trace that mindset back. We can trace the Adolf mindset back, the FDA mind. We can trace that back. Definitely to CIA. That, that strategy is not new. It's very old strategy. And some of it comes up out of the psychopolitical, analytical stuff that they were doing in Russia under the mind control experiments, and definitely with the CIA. We could trace that mindset back. But how many times will they sit and listen for you to give them that information and let them know what they're participating in is probably a CIA covert operation? They've been paying this man a long time to do what he's been doing. And those of us that didn't have knowledge of him fell for it. And now you have that thing in your bloodstream. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. I started to call this show something different last night. I started to call this show when I did the flyer this morning or the thumbnail. I started calling it His and Her Story. Who are your ancestors? And I think for the next 4 minutes that I'm on here, let's answer that question so I can get off of here with a soothing peace of mind. Who are your ancestors? I'm talking for the FBA. Who are your ancestors? Ask you the question. Nope, nope. I want to fight. You can probably beat me. I don't want to fight you. I'm not going to get on and sit on TikTok for hours arguing with you. Who are your ancestors? And other than FBA, can somebody just answer that for me? Anyone before I get off. And I have 3 minutes. Who are your ancestors? And right now, if you're answering that question to yourself, who are your ancestors? Ancestors. Let's just add one more to that. Who are your ancestors? Ancestors. Ancestors. Trust me, that's beyond Africa and beyond this place being called America. The only way that you're going to find out the answer to these particular questions that if you go into Foucault's work, if you go into Ivan Van Sertima's work, if you go into Dr. Francis Cress Wilson's work, if you go into our now ancestors' work, you will find these things. You'll find the answers to these things. Creative assassin, thank you very much for being honest. Okay. Last justice, you said the ancient Ethiopians. All right. Who are they? Who are their ancestors? Are they related to the black people here in America? Are they related to other Africans? Are the Ethiopians even related to the Somalians and the Eritreans? So they all look basically the same. Like me, lighter version or somewhat darker version, somewhat more hair, bigger forehead, or less, or whatever, slimmer. Yeah, yeah. All right. With that said, I have 1 minute and I have to get off here. I love y'all to life, not to death. But I love y'all to life. It's been very interesting. I didn't get the vast majority of my questions answered, but we put something on each other's minds for us to go and study. I want us to grow beyond bickering and arguing, all right? Because we're better off when our numbers are up and we're together, all right? Once again, I love y'all to life, and I'm only doing the job that you called me into existence to do. The creator said, okay, here you go. Here's Professor Griff, all right? By all means, I'm not perfected. Creator still working with me like creator still working with you, all right? But I am because we are, therefore I am. All right. And I'm not going to separate myself from my brothers and sisters on the continent of Africa, which consists of 54 countries and they speak over 2,000 some odd languages. I'm not going to separate myself and divide myself for my brothers and sisters in Brazil, Latin America, um, South America, nor am I going to separate myself from people that look just like me in the Caribbean islands. All right? If you want to donate to the platform, you can do that by donating. Hit the Cash App, $, Griff, or the PayPal. Just go to my website, www.professorgriff.me. Once again, thanks to all of those individuals that showed up in the songwriting class last night. Really appreciate that. Family, I'm going to merge together the audio book and the ebook, and I'm going to give it to you guys at one price. Can everyone write the discount code word down? I'm waiting for you to get a pen. Yep, the book is out. It's called The Birth. I'm going to put it up on the screen. The audio book is out and the ebook is out. I'm going to put both together so you can get both of them in one email. All right. All right. So the discount code word is one love. One love. One love. I can get you the audio book. I can get you the ebook. All right. And the physical book is due out this fall. All right. And the reason why I'm doing that, family, and I'm sure y'all will agree with me, and please don't take this any kind of way. We are just not reading at the pace that we need to be reading. All right. Hold on. We're not reading at the pace. We're not comprehending at the pace. So I said, let me put it in an audio book. And then with the audio book, let me do 3 different versions and put some music underneath. Then let me give them the ebook where they can take the ebook and put it on their phone or their tablet or their computer. So it's no excuse. All right? Take my phone number down, 678-557-2919. You need to text. All right? Send me an email to Serious Minds, SIRIUS, MINDZ, info at gmail.com. Minds, info at, all right? Send me an email at that address. All right, seriousmindinfo at gmail.com. All right, I'm going to put it up on the screen so everyone can get it. That's the email address. Write it down. All right, if you want the ebook, matter of fact, not if you want, you should get it to support the platform. All right, I'll bundle them together, the ebook and the audio book, so you can read along. You can download it to your phone or your tablet or your computer, and or you can just listen. You can listen tonight before you go to bed. It's a beautiful ebook. Audio book. All right, I put some ambient music underneath it. It's a beautiful thing. Listen to it, fam. Give me your feedback or support the platform. All right, send me an email, seriousmindinfo at gmail.com. Seriousmindinfo at gmail.com. If you want some more information, my phone number is 678-557-2919. Every time I have this conversation, y'all get me in trouble with Kalanja. Phone number again, 678-557-2919 is my number. All right? Support the platform. Let me know. All right? Really appreciate everyone. It's been a very interesting conversation. A very interesting hour and 20 minutes. Nope, not even really that long. Once again, I love y'all to life, and I definitely have to get off here. I have some work to do. I'm finishing up the Soul Ohm album. All right. And it's a beautiful thing. Love y'all to life. Peace. I have to get off. All right, let me end this